I met Karla in 1988. I was, at that point, working with the Delta Waterfowl and Wetlands Research Station, supervising their waterfowl research. We hired Karla as a summer field assistant. Immediately impressed us as somebody who was smart, careful with data, conscientious, hard worker, all those things that you look for in a young biologist.
I met Karla in 1988. We both have, right from the very beginning, had an understanding of the scale of the conservation challenge in front of us, and therefore how precious every dollar was.
In 1989, I selected Karla to come back and be one of the full-time field assistants on our canvasback project. Once that work had ended, Karla went on to do a master's project at the University of Saskatchewan.
She showed up and this tall young lady strode into my office and it was clear right from the outset that this was an individual who had really good ideas about what she wanted to achieve in terms of her graduate career. You know, she really wanted to work in conservation, and she was really excited about duck ecology and wetland ecology and just nature in general. And it was really evident and very impressive right from the outset.
In the early 1990s, there was a lot of concern about the status of northern pintail ducks. And so now this is DU Canada and DU US, had put together a funding package to help stimulate new research on pintails. We decided that we wanted to invest in Karla as well as in the project, because we just thought she had a lot of promise as a young conservation professional. So we made the decision to bring her in to run that project.
At DU, we recognized Karla's potential as a conservation leader very early on, and we hired her just out of her PhD program. She started out as a research scientist and eventually moved into conservation program planning and delivery. And over time, we added more and more responsibilities to her plate. And eventually, when I decided to retire, it was a really smooth transition for Karla to take over leadership of DU's conservation programs.
She was passionate about the work. She led a crew of people who did very solid scientific work. Turns out that Karla had become a really effective speaker. The passion was palpable, she was articulate, she targeted her message at the right level, and she became a favorite of a lot of people. Young biologists who worked with her to people like the president of the board. They were all very impressed with the pintail lady. And so it was at that point where, I think it became pretty clear to several of us that her career was on the rise. She was going to do very well.
As she progressed in her career, she understood that you can have more effect if you're facilitating the success of others, facilitating the success of the team. And I think, as her career progressed, that became a more and more important part of what she was trying to achieve.
Karla's been such an important person with Ducks Unlimited the last 20 years, really. She was like a big sister to all of us. And just her whole demeanor of being a caring person for wildlife and across Canada. She's been a real team leader for us, and she works every day to move the Ducks Unlimited mission statement forward.
She was able to invigorate the employees. The diversification of our organization happened under Karla's management. She's also got a very broad understanding of the world of conservation, its needs for financing, its needs for volunteers, its needs for a committed organization. And all those drove what I seen in Karla as a potential CEO.
A lot of people like to lead and have that light shine upon them. Karla was all about having the light shine upon the work that Ducks Unlimited Canada does. Through that quiet leadership, she was able to do what I call transformational change in the Ducks Unlimited organization by having us focus on our science-based delivery of programs in North America.
And her legacy will be our long-term strategy plan, the intercontinental plan that we developed for Canada, US, and Mexico.
Karla's vision has been very, very important because she has always maintained the idea that we are three organizations working for the same objective, for the same purpose. And even though that she might be in Canada or I might be in Mexico, we are all working towards the same continental objective. And that's one of the best things that I have heard from Karla every time that she always referred to Ducks Unlimited, the continental vision that we need to have in order to work to think big, but work actually in our own territory.
Her passion shines through for all of our work all across the continent, but especially on those Great Plains. Our relationship has never been stronger than it has been between DU and DU Canada, substantially because of Karla's leadership, Karla's trust, Karla's confidence, and Karla's passion for conservation of waterfowl. Karla's been a mentor to me as I came into this organization and has just been a steady hand, a trusted partner in the conservation mission. She's a scientist at heart, but she's a leader, and a passionate one at that, and someone who leads with integrity, leads with character, leads with a positive vision for what we all can do to leave the world better than we found it.
I hope she continues to keep her fingers in conservation in a meaningful way after she retires at a far too young age from Ducks Unlimited Canada.
To Karla, we want to say a big thank you from all the board of directors, our staff, our sponsors, donors across Canada. So Karla, thank you and all the best in your retirement.
And I am not surprised at all by what she's done. And I think her future in conservation, the story that she's going to write about her life may not yet be finished. But well done, congratulations, and all the best in retirement.
And the thing that I think that sticks in most of my mind is your ability to lead us in directions that we didn't want to go. And I'm so proud to have served as your president and chairman under your leadership.
And that I just want to wish her the same success in her own private life now as a retiree, similar to the success that she has as a professional CEO working for DU Canada.
Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Spend a lot of time on the river and catch a lot of big snarly fish.